a great day.
Man, it was a really great day today. People, we just went to the We the People Summit here in Phoenix, Arizona.
30 workshops, all targeted and focused to improve community, get people engaged.
And not only that, but we had 75 speakers at this summit. So this is the second summit, and Dre and I were both involved as steering committee members for this one. So we were really involved in getting this one done. But shout out to Trisha,
Murphy.
Jen, and Murphy, because they killed it.
Like, this one is still being talked about. People left excited, left just ready and motivated to just make some positive changes happen, and that is not easy to come by.
And it isn't. So what we did was we had an interview with a few people on site, and we got to see what they had to say about it.
Hope you enjoy it.
And, well, I obviously know who you are, Mickey. You're very involved in the progressive movement. What do you expect to find here in the We the People Summit?
Oh, I think the summit has some incredibly good programming. I just came back from Detroit, the women's convention. I think this programming's stronger.
Wow, that's a big compliment to this program, considering they had a big one over in Detroit. Do you see a lot of new progressives that you would be able to, I guess, see in the part of the resistance in the future here?
Definitely. I've seen a lot of people I don't know, which is good.
Which is positive. And what advice would you give people who want to get involved in a movement such as this?
Find a group. Find an indivisible group or a good group that's doing things. Find a fit. It doesn't have to be my group or that group. It has to be the group that fits for you. So talk to the leaders, find out what the group's about, and join that group so that it's a good fit for you and you will do the work. Because that's the important part. It's not who you belong to, it's do you do the work.
And for the record, could you give us the name of your group and how people will be able to join you?
Sure. It's Desert Progressives Indivisible, and they can join by calling us or looking online for desertprogressives.org. That's our website. There are pamphlets today at AZ Blue 2020's table, so get a hold of us. We'd love to have you.
All right. Thanks, Mickey, and enjoy the summit. And Christine, what brings you here today at the We the People Summit?
I want to learn how to dialogue with people who are in opposition with me, and also how to help out my fellow voters to turn Arizona more blue.
See, that's a big goal of yours. So what are you going to do, or what do you think you're going to get out of this to where you're going to wind up being more engaged?
Well, hopefully get better contacts with people and getting out the vote and learning how to dialogue with other people to hopefully change minds. I guess. I'm hoping.
What minds do you think need to be changed?
Almost everyone who's around me where I live. My zip code was actually the #1 donation zip code for Trump this last election, so I'm surrounded.
You must live in Mesa.
No, actually I live in North Scottsdale. Yeah.
So if the one thing you can do to get out of this one summit, what would it be? Which class or just anything that you want to leave here with on the top of your mind?
I want better tools. I was definitely looking forward to the civil engagement class because I really need better tools in order to talk to people with opposing views without getting too upset and having good arguments already on hand right at my fingertips that I can talk to people with.
All right, perfect. Well, have a good time at the summit and make sure you make that class.
Thank you. All right, 2020.
Hi, what's your name?
Adia Mason.
Okay, Adia, tell me, what brings you here to the We the People Summit?
I'm here to try to find different ways where I can be able to engage and be a better ally to people in the community, people that possibly that don't look like me, even though I'm African American, female. But who else can I help? Who else can I help? Whether it be the LGBT community, whether it be Hispanics, Latinos, but how can I help others?
And one of the things that I see at these summits is there aren't enough of us. There aren't enough of black people who want to engage within the community. And I find that to be personally a problem. How do you think we can reach out so that more black people are involved into what is essentially important to them and their needs as well?
I think the easiest way is just to, I say, bring a friend. So if you're involved, then bring a friend, bring two, bring three, bring people that are interested, or even people who aren't interested, but bring them and just to show them how they can get involved.
Okay, and I want to know, lastly, how are you going to wind up expanding yourself after you leave the We the People Summit, and what type of activities do you think you'll engage yourself in?
I'm hoping to find out that by the end of the day. I'm hoping to be able to the different workshops I can attend today, to be able to speak to some of the speakers and to find different ways where I can get involved, whether it be just volunteering, whether it be campaigning, organizing, but however I can. But hopefully by the end of the day, I'll be able to find 2 or 3 ways where I can get involved.
Hey, well, that's perfect, Adia. So, hopefully I can even help you with that, too, right after we're done with this. But thanks for attending the summit. All right,
Sounds
what's
good.
your
Thank you.
name?
Miriam Davis.
And Miriam, what brings you to the We the People Summit?
Well, I participated this morning as a handmaid, and I attended the last We the People Summit and felt so empowered. Unfortunately, I'd have to say that before last November, I wasn't as engaged as I could have been. But since the election last year, I have really tried to take a stand and be more engaged. I started with Stronger Together in the women's and reproductive rights, but I found myself feeling empowered to help all of those that feel minority, especially the disabled community, Black Lives Matter, the Muslim community. I just had a very fascinating conversation about how to become an ally with the API community, which was totally fascinating and eye-opening for me. So I'm looking for ways to help people and to be engaged.
All right, perfect. And what kind of advice would you give other people who want to be engaged but aren't here at the summit?
I would say that something that I learned today that I found was very interesting is sharing your narrative. A lot of people see me as a white woman. I don't have an accent, but I'm actually a first-generation American. I came to the United States as a birthright citizen. My family's from Sweden. I wasn't allowed to go into the military, into military intelligence, what I wanted to do for foreign language studies, because my parents aren't U.S. citizens, but you don't see that about me. So sharing your narrative is important, and that's what helps you stay engaged with the community around you, I think.
Okay, perfect. And in the community here in Arizona, where people here are trying to at least turn it blue, if not at least purple, to get away from it being red, what advice would you give as somebody getting into the movement newer to somebody else who may want to get into it but maybe a little shy?
I think listening and making yourself keeping yourself from being centered. So that means that I might be a woman and reproductive rights are important to me, but I also have to care about those in other communities that are feeling marginalized, not just women. So I think that listening is really the most important step, and not forming a predisposed opinion before you're engaging in conversation with others, including Republicans.
All right. Thanks, Miriam. Thanks, and I hope you enjoy the summit.
Thank you.
Hey, what's your name?
I'm Jonathan Bibi Judice.
And Dago, Bailon.
Dago Bailon. All right. Dago, what brings you here today?
So we're here tabling and passing out information about what Transcorp Pueblo is, and we're an LGBT migrant organization for people of color and migrants.
Okay, and I'm going to get Jonathan. Could you give me a little bit more information about Trans Queer Pueblo?
Yeah, so we're an organization that exists at the intersection of racial justice and gender justice. So we work on projects to build the power and autonomy of our community, getting our folks out of detention and prisons, supporting us to get access to health care, access to transition care, organizing our families of color and immigrant families around LGBTQ youth and family members, and building economic opportunities. So building the autonomy and power of our community, and then using that to build our leadership one person at a time.
Perfect. And I want to know, what in AZ do you think needs the most improvement when it comes to your organization?
Criminalization. We need to work on the criminalization of our communities and stop the persecution of people of color in the streets by the different armed agents, by the police and by ICE.
Health access. I think health access is very important, right? I think a lot of the times, even with the expansion of ACA, right, in different states, it didn't cover people, and for undocumented people specifically, they still don't have a way to have primary care, right? And so if we are on the long road to liberation, then I think our people need to be healthy. And I think one of the things that we need to do is focus on making sure we're providing access to health for low-income communities and undocumented populations.
Perfect. And could you tell everybody how they can get in touch with your organization and how they can join?
Yeah, they can hit us up on Facebook at Trans Queer Pueblo. They can also find us on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, right, and Tumblr at TQ Pueblo, Pueblo.
All right, great. And we hope you have a great time at the summit.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Zod,
And I'm Drea.
and we want you to check out the Zod and Drea podcast every Tuesday.
Where can everybody find us at?
You can always check us out on www.zodandrea.com.
Where else?
You can always check us out also on Facebook at Zod Andrea.
Instagram?
Zod Andrea.
Snapchat?
Zod and Drea.
YouTube?
Zod and Drea.
I see a pattern.
I see a pattern. So if you haven't caught that, catch us at Zod and Drea on all the social networks. But also make sure you subscribe to the Zod and Drea podcast. Where?
At zodandrea.com.
And also on YouTube and iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. We're coming for you.
Let us know what you think, and if you want to be a guest, reach out to us.
And put all of your input into whatever our topics are for the week. So we hope to check you out and see you there.
Bye.